Rocket.
Safety first.
Safety's third.
I think it's gonna be a rocket.
Ha! It's not.
Ugh.
Barely.
Barely. So what's first and second? Because what's the next car and what?
Oh, there we go. Okay, that goes on like that. Just goes like that.
I heard the Biley. Is the Biley's coming here? How the Biley's? How the Biley's? How the Biley's?
All right, so this will set your car at OE factory height.
Yeah.
That is not OE factory spring perch location. So basing, they go off of from this nub right here down. This would not be factory spring perch location. This next one down would be. But
so is that number 2?
Yes. Essentially, that's number 2.
So the fronts, they, according to the notes on Goodwin's website, it's supposed to be perch 1 OE factory height. Perch 2 lowers 20 millimeter with factory springs.
But it's factory spring perch height.
Yeah.
So, Seth, hold this for a second.
Oh man, I'm confused, Bill.
So, first off, struts are...
Which one is which?
Hold on. That one... Is there supposed to be 4 or 3 on the front struts?
What do you mean? Perch heights?
Yeah.
3 on the front.
Oh, okay. I had them wrong. All right. So it needs to go in one location. So that would be the same there.
Yeah.
Okay. Which means on the rear, what do we need on the rear?
Four perch positions.
Yep. I had the wrong strut out.
Oh, okay.
So
fronts, number 1 still makes sense then?
Yep.
Okay.
And then on the rear, what are we doing?
The rear, according to this note, is where is that? Perch number 2.
Okay.
OE factory position perch.
Okay. Now, because I took your strut apart, do you want to use this really cool machined aluminum strut perch? Or do you want to use their steel strut perch that comes with the shock?
Oh my God. Well, I don't know.
Because I pulled the factory, well, it just takes me an extra hour to pull these off because I got to disassemble parts of the shock. Your factory Bilstein.
What would you do if this were your car?
You got to look at it as my car. I'm not in it any money, or I'm not in it any money because my time is mine. You're looking at probably, if you want to use those aluminum ones that are factory, you're probably looking at another $100 because they take a little while to get them off.
So is it bad? Are you saying it's better just to use the ones that came with Cody?
It's cheaper.
Okay.
So the way I'm looking at it, the way I look at it is this perch height index on these, I'm not sure. In here, you're talking, you got about probably 12 or 13 millimeters versus the ones that they come with are like super thin. So I don't know if it's going to change perch heights by using this. I didn't realize these were in the bottom of the box until I went to go move the box and heard stuff still rattling.
Because I forgot to take it
So
out.
I thought I was going to have to. Yeah, I thought I was going to have to take those off, but these essentially just are going to slide down and be in location. So I would run these unless I was trying to lower it. If I was trying to lower it, I would then run these because I think these are stronger.
Okay.
Because it's thicker.
But I don't think it's going to set it in the correct location if I put those on here right now, and that's more of what we're concerned about.
My question is that one in your right hand that you just let rest on your lap, that one comes with conies, right?
Yes.
But does it fit on the Miata's chassis is my question.
Well, yeah, because it fits on this strut.
Okay. Well, if it's that easier, then let's just use it.
Okay.
And maybe just save all the old stock parts.
Yeah, I'll put.
In case we want to lower it for STR in the future, I can come.
I will put all the stock stuff back together. That's not a problem, and I planned on boxing that up and setting it off to the side for you. That way you can set it in the garage. Because I guarantee somebody that doesn't have a club car will pay for those Bilsteins.
Yeah, the Bilsteins have better compression than the conies.
Well, yeah, but you got to look at it as somebody that's just getting into it and maybe bought a base model.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can sell them for $200-$300 used, that knocks the price down $200-$300 on what this costs you to upgrade. But they can't buy OE Bilstein struts for $200 or $300.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I see people selling around that price range all the time.
Yeah, that's pretty common on it, like a used strut that doesn't have very many miles on it, especially with it being a Bilstein. $200-$300 are usually $100 to $150 each.
Yeah, and it's only got what 7,000 miles on it.
So. No, I didn't even look.
Yeah.
I just.
Okay. Have you started on the? Whoa! Look at that! Oh my God!
It's clean.
Your lower control arms are no longer in the frame rails.
Oh. Bill, I trust you know what you're doing.
100%, man. I marked everything. I can.
Just stresses me out.
I can put it back together, and your. When I put it back together, your suspension is probably going to be very, very close to
what it was.
Like your alignment should be very close. I marked everything, lined everything out so that I can put everything back in the same location.
Dude, you're the genius here. So thank you very much. What about bump stops? Have you started playing with that yet?
No. So that was going to be my next question. The front ones I'm supposed to cut in half.
Like, do you have it in front of you? Right? They were saying it's like two portions. You can never cut it perfectly in half. So Brian Goodwin from that company,
So this is your factory one.
Yeah, I don't know where he cut, but he said
I think he cut right here.
Half.
Yeah, he cut right here.
Looks like.
I think he cut right where my thumb's at.
Oh, not the knot above that.
I don't there. I'll cut it wherever you want. I don't get exactly what he's calling it.
I don't understand. I guess he's trying to when the front dips because there's a lot of hard braking and quick.
Hand me a tape measure, Seth. It's right there.
I'm just trying to deduce.
So give me. Let me show you. So what he's trying to say. So your overall height of this butt stop is, we're talking 1 3/4 of an inch. Have a 1 3/4 would be 5 3/4 be 7/8 would put you in the middle of this one. It's like literally in the middle of that approximately. I would cut it here and have this entire bump stop, this whole section and that whole section, because this I'm thinking is a progressive from what we were reading. So this would be stiffer through here. The point of it is what he's trying to do is get you more usable suspension. So basically what it is you're looking at when this spring and strut assembly goes to go down, your factory bump stop, and I don't think it's going to go on there. Yeah, it doesn't, but So your factory bump stop is going to set right there.
Right.
So you only have this travel to this travel. Here, Seth, hold that. You only have this travel before you hit a bump stop. What he's doing is cutting it so you have that much travel before you get into your bump stop. Because what he's saying is that it's so little suspension. Now, what you also have to consider is that this is fully extended. By the time you get, your weight on it, it may be here. So you've even cut that suspension down even more. So what he's doing is by cutting that, you're allowing more free travel in the suspension before you get into the bump stop.
Got it. Okay. Makes sense.
So it would be like on the mountain bike, it would be, I'm getting close to bottoming out right before it gets ready to bottom out. I'm staying in that lower section. So either I need to add a volume spacer. So you change the ramp of how fast it gets into that area. You're slowing that down, or you add more pressure and then you're moving your entire strut where you're staying in a different portion of your strut.
Right. Or I can look at it as like my coil's rear suspension that has bump stops.
Yep.
And I'm cutting that bump stops. It just gives it a little bit more travel.
Yep.
Before
it gets into that bump stop. That's exactly what you're doing.
Okay. I understand now. All right.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Well, thanks for calling. I don't know if there's any questions I can answer, but
no, it was I don't have part numbers in front of me, and he didn't list part numbers in that thing. So I'm like sitting here going, wait, which one's fronts, which one's rears? And I'm like trying to look at them. I didn't think about setting them up next to each other and comparing links because I was like, one of them had 4s. I thought that was the front that had 4s, and then I wasn't looking. And
yeah, I was kind of surprised when I opened up the box. Like everything's so simple. It's not like a part number or model number, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, it's not super complicated or anything like that. And then, are you wanting to run the factory bump stops on the front, or are you wanting to run the aftermarket bump stops? Because you have.
This is where I have no expert knowledge. Like, which one's better?
Well,
I bought it just so we have it, so we can make.
So here's the way I look at the bump stop: is that the Kone runs with a different. Seth, open that bag right there and hand me the washer out of it.
Oh, hey, Seth. How's it going?
Victor says hi.
Hi. You're the wrong way.
Oh. Victor says hi.
Hi. I don't like this. What the heck?
I don't have my knife on me.
If there's like a small hole, which washer?
The
metal
big silver one, yeah.
Hey, Bill. I was telling Seth how lucky he gets to grow up.
And that he envies me.
So
fun things going on every day.
So what I understand is that this is replacing that one on the factory bump stop.
Okay.
Or is that the one that we drill out so it has the retainer to hold it?
I'm not getting the question. I guess we are making a decision whether we want to cut the factory or use the aftermarket, right? Or cut the aftermarket.
Okay, kind of. So what I'm asking is, we had to drill out something in those notes. There was something I had to drill out.
Yeah, this probably that some kind of washer so that the adjustment shaft can go through. That's the only drilling. It's the
well,
washer,
yeah.
So washer sitting on top of the shock.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
because
that is
washer cannot fit the shaft.
Yeah. So that's this, which goes on the top of the strut. Right there. So I got to drill that out to fit the new ones. So that means that the washer that comes with it is for the bump stop.
Okay.
That is the correct size. So now the question is, hold on one second. do you want to
So
use?
they supply you with a washer? I did not know that. Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. I would think. That it's. Where's that bag, Seth, that you just opened? Give me just 1 second. Let me look at this instructions and see if they say in these instructions what's what. That's how you adjust it. That's how you adjust it. Is there another piece of paper in there?
That's the only other piece of paper.
So they are not running a they're not running a adapter on. They're not running this washer. So that washer doesn't get used at all. They're just putting this directly onto the strut like that. Now the problem is there's a whole bunch of wiggle room in there versus the
Who's they? Who's not running the washer?
Kone.
Coney is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So these other bump stops that you ordered, they fit tight.
Ooh.
There's not
a good thing, right?
play. Yeah. So that means once you set them there, they stay there. Where if we do the factory ones and not run that washer, they're going to fall down. So they're going to, inside this spring, they're going to be down here and it's going to be pushing on it. So I would run the aftermarket ones with the Kones.
When you run the aftermarket ones, do you have to cut them?
That's what I don't know.
Okay.
So that would be, I have no clue. That guy, because he didn't say anything about the aftermarkets, and then you have two different colors.
I know the blue ones are the hard stops. Those are for the rears.
Okay, blues are for the rears.
Blues are for the rears.
Oh. They gave you like two. They gave you a cut bump stop and a factory bump stop, I think.
No freaking way, they did?
Well, I have two different length bump stops in here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think the smaller ones are the fronts, right?
This is the size of the factory one.
I bought a completely separate set. And that separate set supposedly is the fronts and rear. So we just got to extract the fronts.
Okay, so this is the aftermarket. The one on my finger is OE, and this is the aftermarket. Those are the same height.
Okay.
These are shorter, and
looks cut. You're right.
They look cut on the bottom. And they're basically cut to right here.
But it's shaped like this one.
But
let's try that.
This is the bag of the blues, and there's 4 blues in it.
You know why?
The same ones.
Four, because one of the ways Brian Goodwin says he can do it is to cut each of these off at whichever knob, and then 2 halves will form one.
Okay.
Be like the perfect
so
height.
These are front bump stops then.
No, these are rear bump stops.
The blue ones are rear bump stops.
Right. I bought 4 because he was experimenting with cutting each one off, and then so both halves of the remaining will form a perfect height for one of the rear shock.
Okay. So then
one option that you
So
have.
then the other set that you had are all these, which you got 2 full-length bump stops and 2 that look cut.
Yeah.
So the cut ones are the ones that automatically go on the rear because they already know what that is, right?
No, I think those are for the fronts.
Okay, so these 2 cut ones go on the front, and those are the rears.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I don't think you use the remaining one in the back. Yeah, you just threw that to the table. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that'll work perfect.
Okay.
Because that's exactly, it's changing your...
Is that the cut one?
Okay. Yeah.
And then if we don't put the metal washer on there, is it going to accelerate wear on that plastic?
No, because when you turn around and it puts the strut cap and everything on here,
Yeah.
when the strut cap and everything's set on this lip, this will be pushed up against that strut cap.
And it won't hurt it.
So you won't ever be able to get into the bottom of this where it's going to change wear on this shaft. This is foam.
Yeah.
That's not going to wear on that
Hard
hardened
foam.
shaft.
Hard foam.
Okay. I just wanted to check.
HPV.
And would that dramatically lower the height of the front?
No. It's not going. It won't change the height of the front at all.
Because what I heard from some of his postings is when you cut the front bump stop, it does lower it slightly on static.
Okay, well then it could if it's in the bump stop,
right?
Like factory underweight. Then yeah, it could because it's going to allow more free space. You're cutting out,
right, about
an inch, 3/4 of an inch, just over 3/4 of an inch. I mean, 3/4 times 2 divide or 1 3/4 and half 3/4. So you're looking at like you're at 15/16, 7/8 approximately is what you've cut off that bump stop.
Don't get me wrong. I like that it naturally sits it lower because it allows me to pick up more static camber, which is very hot on this chassis.
Yeah.
Okay, we got a good plan then, you think?
Yeah, we're good.
Sorry, man, I don't mean to confuse you.
No,
everything in there.
No, you're good. Yeah, it was just more of I'm like, oh, this is like way more crap than what I'm thinking. Now, hand me those,
blue ones.
the white things.
Spacers.
Here's the thing. The concepts are the same. You gotta open the box completely. There's a lot of parts in there.
Oh, I'm not even messing with that yet. I'm worried about I'm gonna put struts together.
Yeah.
Both struts are gonna be ready to put back in. Yeah. And then I'm getting rid of all the rest of the stuff that's on the floor and open up the concept stuff after I get the front sway bar out and then figure out how to
51 minutes.
Put it back together. But essentially, remember these Packards?
Yes.
Okay. What those do is space that down. They go right here.
Oh, okay.
These are made to slide on, and they go above this bump stop so you can change the height of this bump stop.
I see. Do you foresee us using any?
I see, let's make it factory, or let's do this setup where it's half the bump stop and we go through and then you run the car. And I would do this at the track because this is something you could do at the track.
Yeah.
My only question is Seth, let me pull the plastic thing out of the spring. Grab the end of it. Yep. Oh. Pull that out. My only question is,
I'm blind. Okay.
What I would do is this goes over this to kind of protect.
Yeah, from dust and stuff.
Yeah, which to me, I don't care about because it's not actually so much dust. What this is actually supposed to protect from is like rust and rock debris and things like that would actually chip this, which we don't have that problem in Arizona.
Oh.
So the question is, when I install this is going to completely cover this shaft on the inside of the spring because it goes over that. So that means for you to install a Packard below this, you have to try to push this thing up while it's in the spring to be able to push this down, to shove a Packard on, to be able to push that up, all while trying to hold this up into place. If this was me, I would be taking this and cutting this boot.
Oh, really?
I would completely cut that boot off so that when it sat in here, it stopped right there. That way, if I want to put a Packard in, you could do it literally, jack up your car where you can get to your strut. You probably wouldn't even have to take a wheel off.
Right.
Because it's going to set like right there approximately. And this being cut, you then would jack the car up, reach your hands up in there, pry this down, shove a Packard in, push it back up, and now you change the height of your bump stop.
Okay. Yeah, maybe put a slit. So, but then we can always put some kind of a what's it call it? What kind of tape is that? Just to cover the slit.
Uh-huh.
Duct tape. That's what I was.
Oh, okay. But yeah, that's the only thing that I would be doing.
Yeah.
Other than that, like it's gonna be pretty self-explanatory. Like once it's set up, I don't know, because you're copying what somebody else had done, and to me, driving styles are different, and what people want are different.
Yeah, it is one of the most replicated setup because all the top, I'm not trying to go for like top nationals and all that, right? But at least I know it's a proven formula.
Yeah.
A lot of people are replicating this because C Street, the rules are so restrictive, and they found a way around it, and this is that way. So, yeah.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah. Okay.
All right then.
Yeah. All right. So do the slit, and we should be good to go. I'm sorry if this is added complication. I totally get it.
No,
You know,
it ain't no huge deal.
Time.
I expected it. Like I knew it wasn't gonna just be a direct bolt on, and that's why I kind of quoted it where I quoted it, because I knew it was gonna be time. There was going to be a lot more time in it than just a standard strut change, because a standard strut change is I would already have that strut back together and there would have been no phone call to you because nothing was changing.
There's some tuning going on.
Yeah.
Tuning consideration.
Nope, which I fully understand. So.
Yeah.
Yep,
okay.
Not a big deal.
Yeah. All right.
All right then.
Thanks, Bill. Appreciate it.
All right, bye.
Bye.
All right, so for those of you trying to do this upgrade on your Miata, how this sets up is this is your factory height. You can lower it 20 millimeters, you can lower it 30 millimeters. You would essentially get a pair of spring clamp pliers or C-clip pliers like these, and you would then open these up, and you're able to slide that down and set it in those different grooves. It's going to change the overall ride height of your vehicle, but not change the spring rate because you're still using a factory spring. The class that he's running is the factory class, so you have to have it in the same location. Once you have this set in the location you want, it comes with this spring or this clip. This is collared. That collar goes down, and essentially what it does is once it's set down on here, it makes it where that spring is now locked and cannot remove. See how it sets under that lip? Makes it where that spring can't pop out. That's how it is locking your spring cup into place. Now your spring cup won't slide off and go down. If you don't put that in, there's enough force on this that it could probably roll that clip or roll that locking spring where it's no longer going to be setting in the correct location. Then hand me the half bump stop. We've opted for the half bump stop, so it slides down on. Then this is your factory holder for your factory bump stop, which looks like those. These normally slide up in like that for your factory ones. We're running the half bump stop. This just sets on top. It doesn't really hold it. Then on that note, it just goes back into the whole setup. Line up your spring detent on your collar. Now here's where it becomes fun. it comes with a new washer. You take your factory one out of your bushing setup. This is your lower. The one that has the shoulder is lower. In case you ripped this apart and didn't realize it, that one's your lower. This new one sets inside that. All this then slides down in. That is not correct. My bags got pulled out on multiple shocks at the same time. Your large washer, which if you look in this bag, there's a small washer and a large washer. Large washer goes on the fronts. Those go on the fronts. Small washers go on the rear. You have a dual lock nut setup. So you will end up being a jam nut, which I'm not for sure exactly what the size is because it's not a 10 mil. But basically you use a small crescent wrench. You can hold it in place as you tighten it down. Once you get it to a certain height, the wrench fits on there better. You want to run this down until it stops. And what you're doing is you're essentially putting in, you're squishing down the bushings, and you're bottoming that sleeve out against the bottom like it's supposed to. Okay, so now there, put your top lock nut on. Then loosen back up your setup. Pop all this out. That's how you do your front struts. Same thing on both sides. It's pretty much set up how I looked at the factory setup. Is your factory setup ran in line. So this is the outside edge of your shock. You should come up. You should hit your spring perch. You should come to a bolt. That's how it's going to be the easiest way to put them back and forth in. And you're not going to be fighting yourself.